Hey guys, we're reacting to a video from Consoletronics today, and this is his top 20 favourite Sega Master System games. Let's see if we agree.
Hey, what's going on YouTube?
Hello!
My name's Gray, and it's been a while since I did a top 10 list, preferring instead my video games showcase series. But I thought I'd have another crack at the format, but this time doing a top 20, because the system I'm looking at is one of the most overlooked and marginalised platforms I've ever seen, but one in which I know more than most. So join me as we take a look at my top 20 Master System games.
Hey man, we're glad you're covering this, and the reason I picked this is quite simple. Master System hardly had any market share in North America. Nintendo NES dominated the market. This system was an absolute gem for many reasons in Australia, the UK, Europe, and Brazil. I think to this day, Brazil are making games for this from Tectoy or something. Had big influence all over the rest of the world except for North America, it seems. So we're just happy to showcase and give our opinions today. This is his list, by the way. Oh, wow. Okay, this is a divided one already. The Ninja, right. Here's looking at you, Damo.
Some of you who've played this game may be wondering how it managed to make this list at all. Well, with a little practice you get used to the finicky controls and wayward enemy patterns, and before you know it, you're in that gaming sweet spot where it doesn't matter where the enemies come from or what they throw at you. A fantastic little game, if given a chance.
I mean, I do agree with that, to be honest, because I went from sucking at this game, I still kind of suck at it, but I mean, I could never even pass a level or 2 levels tops. And then after repeatedly being asked to play this game on our request show, all of a sudden 2 levels would turn into 3, turn into 4, turn into 5, even more sometimes. And then you do get into that zone, you become a ninja killing machine with all the freaking stars and everything, and it can be quite awesome. Do have to rely on save states on emulation, as I said, it is a very hard game. So, yeah, it is an incredibly rewarding game if you give it a chance. However, top 20 Sega Master System games? Nope. Anyway. Okay. Nice graphics, man. Killer graphics on Master System.
Being partial to the odd platform puzzler, I have been enjoying the lesser known Penguin Land recently. Do not be fooled by its cute and cuddly graphics. This is one of the most addictive games I have played in a very long time, with plenty of challenge to boot.
Yeah, look, it's a pretty good platforming game here. I would put this probably in the pile of Master System games that are the best of what no one's played. I don't know if this got a North American release. I think it did. I did hear people mention how much they like this game. I think my neighbour growing up actually played this at one point, and I had a look and I thought it was quite fun. Definitely fun if you're into the arcadey stuff. Again, top 20. Not really convinced with the first 2 entries yet, but okay, now we're talking. We're starting to get some big Disney games now. Okay.
One
I actually own this one still.
8-bit Disney games, so the fact that it's charted so lowly should give you an idea of the level of competition it faced. The Lucky Dime Caper is easily on par with any of the better known NES Disney titles, where you control Donald and have to rescue your annoying nephews, Huey, Dewey and Louie.
Yeah, if you can get past the sound, this is a wonderful Disney game, and to be honest, all the Disney games on Master System were pretty on point, to be honest. Just the ones I remember off the top of my head. This, Mickey Mouse's Castle of Illusion, Jungle Book. I found them all to be a tremendous amount of fun. Always had the best graphics on the system, or at least were up there anyway. Yeah, this one's definitely worth playing. I don't know if it got a North American release, though. I think North America had somewhere between 108 and 114 retail releases, and then in Europe, Australia, and everywhere else, it was like 350 plus. I don't know if this was released in North America, but I think it'd be hard to put something on the top 20 list that not everyone in the world has played, if that makes sense. I don't know. Let me know if I'm wrong in the chat.
Great game.
Okay. I mean, we all know what Bubble Bobble is, one of the greatest single-screen arcade games ever made.
The golden oldie Taito Bubble 'em Up.
Okay.
Still hugely playable after all these years, whether in single or, better yet, 2 players, a must-have game for your Master System collection.
Well, look, I agree Bubble Bobble is a must-have game in some shape or form in your collection, definitely. The Master System version, I don't know if this is the one. I probably wouldn't put this in the top 20 Sega Master System games. I mean, obviously this is one of the greatest arcade games ever made, but when it comes to top 20 Master System games, I think most Master System enthusiasts would agree they're probably not thinking of this one. But let's continue. Ah, now we're talking. Okay.
Similar to the original it may be, but that's no bad thing in my book. Fantasy Zone 2 continues the cutesy themed shoot 'em up thrills of the first, but packs more power-ups, more enemies, and some great boss encounters.
Well, I mean, you just basically said why it's better than the first one there, didn't you? I mean, better graphics, more colours, more enemies, more weapons, more bosses. Can't remember if it was a longer game or not. I think the original Phantasy Star was like 5 levels. I can't remember. Sorry, Fantasy Zone, excuse me. Can't remember how many this one had. But I do remember out of the 3 that I played on Master System, this one personally was my favourite. Probably the harder one too. Oh, wow. Okay, it's going to be a good list of Alex Kidd's 15. I hope. Alright, what you got to say about this one?
Once the face of Sega, Alex Kidd's maiden game is also his best outing. He may be one of the most underused of all of Sega's back catalogue of forgotten franchises. But while Miracle World is no Mario Brothers beta, it is an enjoyable and challenging platform classic.
Yeah, that's a pretty good description. I'll just try to put this as simple and quick as possible for my friends in America. This was Super Mario Brothers in Australia for working class families. When the Nintendo was too expensive and the Sega Genesis first came out, they actually started selling what was called the Sega Master System 2, which was more a condensed Sega Master System console that came in with an inbuilt game. And for most of them, it was this. And it was also $50 less, I think, at the time, in our money at least anyway, than a Nintendo NES. And so what was brilliant about the Sega is they could pay less, working families could pay less for a Sega and also get a built-in game. And so that's why so many kids in Australia also had a Master System, and this was definitely a beloved game by all kids in my generation, and I do recommend trying it if you haven't, at least to have a look. Ah, Psycho Fox, another platformer. Okay. Well, let's see what he's got to say.
One of the most joypad-flinging, frustrating games on the list, but one you'll come back to again and again. Nutty Mega Drive platformer Decapitac is a spiritual successor to this game, where you take control of a variety of different animal characters in some well thought out levels that rivals Sonic for how fast you can get through them.
That was one thing I really liked about Psycho Fox, but here's the thing as well. I felt like the controls didn't have the same flow or the same tightness as, say, of like a Super Mario Brothers, and I felt like when you played Psycho Fox, you were probably battling the controls more, in my opinion, than the game itself. But, you know, in elementary school, everyone was always telling me how much they liked Psycho Fox. I remember the kids always talking about it. So maybe I'm in the wrong here. Do I think it deserves to be in the top 20? Honestly, I do. Probably based on reputation alone. But, we got Golden Axe here, number 13. Okay. It's a pretty good port, actually. We'll talk about it.
A game that should need no introduction. Golden Axe. Of the many ports of the 1989 arcade original, from Commodore 64 to Amiga to the god-awful PC Engine version, the Master System port is easily one of the best, second only to its Mega Drive cousin.
Keep in mind, guys, this is 8-bit. Like, the fact that this game looks so good on an 8-bit console shouldn't be understated. I think the only thing for me with the Master System port was obviously to get a game looking this good, you had to sacrifice a little bit of frame rate, obviously, so the gameplay could be a little bit choppy, but it didn't ruin my experience growing up playing this game. Also, you only got one character, which was Axe Battler here. But, no, I recently played this on the channel from start to finish, and I'm not going to pretend I enjoyed as much as the Sega Genesis version, but it was thoroughly enjoyable. I would definitely play this again. And, I mean, I would just play this alone to see how far games have come if you've never tried it. Do I think this deserves to be number 13 on the list? Perhaps.
The lack of a two-player option is the only downside to this hack and slash.
Yeah, that was a bit of a missed opportunity, but maybe there were just limitations on the system. Oh, Streets of Rage on Master System? I don't know. Let's see what he's got to say first, and we'll discuss.
How many of you even knew that Sega's legendary Final Fight ripoff Streets of Rage was ported to the Master System?
It does look pretty good, honestly.
And while it may
8-bit.
be a cut-down version of the Mega Drive Classic, there weren't many scrolling beat-em-ups of note on the Master System, except maybe Double Dragon. So it's a welcome addition to the library, and great fun in 2 players.
You know, I've only played Streets of Rage on either Master System or Game Gear. 5 minutes here and there. And look, to be fair, maybe after being spoilt growing up with the Sega Genesis versions of the franchise, I just didn't find this to be all that special. So I guess I'm not giving it extra points for nostalgia on my side of the fence. So do I think personally this would be in my top 20 list? No. That doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't deserve to be there. I just don't see it myself. Not looking nice for 8-bit action though. It is looking nice. Oh, this is Master System's Castlevania. Okay. Okay. I don't know if North America got this. Let me know in the chat.
The closest thing us Master System owners ever got to Castlevania. And while it may not be on the same level as the Konami franchise, it's still a rock-solid, eerie platform adventure that's well worth a bash.
Yeah, look, I've occasionally play it as a bonus game on the channel. Last time was probably 4 or 5 months ago. It is pretty fun. Starts off quite promising. I feel like personally it starts to get pretty cheap at the halfway point. I do think some of these like more ambitious Master System games did suffer in their collision detection, so to speak. I felt like a lot of games on the system suffered with that, to be honest. Not everyone's going to agree, that's fine. Do I think it should be in the top 20 list? No. No, but it is a respectable effort at doing a Castlevania game.
It's customary in my top 10 lists to have a look at some of the honourable mentions that just failed to
Maybe
make
they
the
should
cut.
be in there. Let's have a
Considering
look.
there were hundreds of Master System games in total, here's a few that may not be the best, but are certainly worth checking out.
Alright, let's see.
In some remote enclaves of Sega fandom, my not including this game in the main list would be seen as a hanging offence. Now, I'm not the biggest driving game fan, but that said, over the years I've made an exception for this port of the arcade classic.
Outrun's fun, but the music was garbage, or the lack of music was garbage. Zillion? I mean, the game just looked pretty.
This impossible mission-looking Metroidvania game may not be that well thought of today, but the game is based on an all-but-forgotten Sega-produced anime.
I thought this would be on the list, to be honest.
Light Phaser and Upper Upper from Fantasy Zone fame would first make their appearances. Plus, the game itself is actually pretty damn good.
It was like the closest thing to an anime in a game at the time.
One of the better shoot-em-ups available for the Sega 8-bit. Only available through mail order in the US for some strange reason, this is actually part of Compile's fantastic Elest series.
Okay. The
I've
Goals
never
and
been a
Ghosts.
fan
You
of
could have
games
probably
that
put
are
this
hard
one in there.
just for the sake of being hard, so it took me some time to warm to the Ghouls and Ghosts series.
Yeah.
That
8-bit
being
version was
said,
really good.
The Master System port is easily one of the best 8-bit versions you can get.
Well, you could have easily put that on instead of the Ninja.
Check out them graphics, man. This is easily one of the best looking games on the humble Master System, and while the game itself is excellent, the main character controls like Robocop wearing shoes 2 sizes too small, but your perseverance will be rewarded in a fantastic oriental hack and slash title.
Yeah, when it came to these Japanese style games though, I preferred Spellcaster. And, well actually I think it was a mixture of styles. It felt like a Japanese anime Spellcaster, but I think it had Buddhism elements in it as well. Anyway, I don't want to give too much away. But check out Spellcaster. I kind of hope it's on this list and we can talk about it. If not, well, unlucky me.
thought I'd bookend this segment
Okay.
with another racer, so it had to be Hang On, the quintessential arcade motorbike sim. Not quite as fancy looking as Super Hang On the Mega Drive, but for sheer playability and speed, it can't be matched on the Master System.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why everyone rants and raves on about Super Hang On. I get the game looks pretty and the music is fantastic, but trying to move that bike around on the track is like moving a brick around a corner. Whereas at least Hang On here, it might have not looked like too much, but at least the controls were very responsive and tight and was incredibly fun to play. I only wish most versions include the music. I think that was a big missed opportunity. The game just felt like it was missing something without the background track. But yes, I prefer this one myself personally too.
The seminal sci-fi shooter comes to the Master System in flickery triumph. Hard as nails, and we wouldn't have it any other way. You have to play it. It's brilliant.
Look, you know what? I'm not a big shmup fan, bullet hell game, shooter fan. But there's no denying that if you are into that genre, R-Type was very pretty. Also very responsive. The firepower felt fun and deadly. Just, I don't know. I think you have to be a masochist to play games like this. They just do my head in. Do I think it deserves to be on the list? Yes. Yeah, oh yes, I was hoping this would be on there. Okay, we're going to talk about this one. It's one of my favourites. I love this one.
No, I'm not scraping the bottom of the barrel. Spellcaster is in fact one of the strongest titles available on the system. An action role-playing platform extravaganza that's long been overdue the respect it deserves. Great game.
Yeah, look. This is like one of those hybrid games that has a multitude of elements. You've got these action platforming levels here with great range of weapons, boss fights and everything. You've got the point and click, sort of like spot the difference, find the hidden item. Kind of like, the Goonies 2 kind of point and click sections. You got sections like that. And then you've got like first person RPG sections as well. So you've got all these different elements in one game. And it's just a fantastic adventure. The graphics are nuts, especially in the cutscenes, and it feels like you're playing inside an anime. You have to play this one. Hopefully one day I'll put it on the channel. Okay, I've not done the Master System version of this. Okay.
British developers Codemasters were best known for the enjoyable Dizzy the Egg series before striking gold with Micro Machines, a top-down fast and fluid racer that's outlasted the toys it was based on.
Yeah, and to this day Codemasters still killing it on racing games, eh? Oh, Astro, I got this one too! Okay.
Can't say I was ever really a big fan of the Franco-Belgium comics character Asterix, but I am a fan of a good platform romp. The first of a trilogy of Gallic adventures on the Master System, and one of the best 8-bit platformers of all time.
Yeah, it kind of plays a little bit similar to Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion, but I think you have a few extra attacks and things to do in this as well, so it's kind of like that game on steroids. Yeah, it's really, really, really fun. Do I think this deserves to be on the top 20 list? Yeah, probably a little bit, maybe further down. I would probably actually knock off the Donald Duck game and probably put this one in there instead, to be honest. Micro Machines beforehand, by the way, I'm surprised it's on the list. I forgot to mention that, forgive me.
Maybe.
But this is a good game. It's a very good game. Road Rash on Master System, okay. So he's obviously being biased on his own picks, which is fair enough. This is not an objective list.
In its day, one of the most significant releases for the Mega Drive, this 8-bit rendition holds up very well.
Yeah.
It is one of the best later releases that pushed the aging hardware and showed the Master System still had something to offer.
Can you see the frame rate there? I could be wrong. I could be misseeing the resolution or something, but from where I'm sitting right now, it kind of looks like the frame rate on the Master System version is running even smoother than the Mega Drive version. Like, this game looks really, really, really tight on this system. I used to always see this for sale at the Target and the Kmart. Unfortunately, I never picked it up. I also think this was one of the only a European Australian release. I don't think North America got this port either. So, very interesting this is on here. Obviously, the guy that's doing this video is from Europe. So, fair enough that he picked it, I guess. Alright, Shinobi.
Quite simply, the best version of Shinobi, bar none. I'd argue that it plays better than the arcade original. Guide Joe Musashi through ninja-infested levels as you look to take down the Zed organization. A must-play title.
You know, the more I play Shinobi, the more I'm really starting to fall in love with it as a title. I think it is a wonderful ninja experience. Incredibly brutal one, but the more I just try and repeat the game and have some patience and do things a little bit different, the further I eventually go, even without using, you know, enchantments like save states or anything like that. And it's a great game. I still haven't beaten it yet. I've gotten up to the final level, so hopefully one day I can for you guys. Land of Illusion. No, I'm not a big fan of Land of Illusion.
Quite rightly, Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse is still held up as a classic. Why the sequels aren't seen in the same light puzzles me.
Because Castle of Illusion's better.
System is a much better title than its 8-bit predecessor.
Wrong! Sonic on Master System. Jeez, man, he's left a lot out. Oh my gosh, this is not what I was expecting. I respect his list. Guy's got a right to an opinion.
In many ways, the 8-bit Sonic games are better than their 16-bit siblings, as they are more of a challenge. But the fact that Sega didn't try to squeeze the Mega Drive version onto the Master System, but designed an all-new adventure for the Spiky Blue Wonder, means that you could justify owning both versions. If you've yet to play it, put that right.
Yeah, the Master System versions of Sonic were a little bit different. And still pretty good. Obviously, the Master System didn't have the old blast processing that Sega used to do. Sega does what Nintendo don't. But, yeah, in their own right, the Sonic games on Master System were very good. I probably would chuck Sonic 1 in there somewhere in the top 20. I'm lucky. I have a Master System 2 that actually has this game built in. And so I have played it pretty recently, actually. It's a good Sonic title. But we've left out some big guns. We only got 2 left. Okay. I can handle you've put this in your top 2.
With a recent remastering, Wonder Boy 3 The Dragon's Trap will be played and experienced by a whole new generation of gamers who missed it first time around. And maybe then it will get the recognition it deserves, because this is one of the greatest video games I've ever played. Yeah,
I mean, you've seen me play this game on the channel many times. It's like Simon's Questy, Metroidvania type experience. You're this kid, you're playing at the end of Wonder Boy in Monsterland. Why is that not on this list? And you basically turn into a beast, and your goal is to basically save the land and go back to your human form. You can warp into different beasts like an eagle and a mouse and a lion and stuff. And each form allows you to go to a different part of the map. So it's kind of got that Symphony of the Night element to it as well. Just an absolutely wonderful, fantastic experience and adventure. And not too long, but just enough to scratch that itch if you got some time on your hand.
It's possibly the most underrated video game of all time.
Well, it's certainly up there, because the homies in America didn't play Master System. Phantasy Star, alright. Alright. Okay, we're going to talk about this list a little bit at the end.
It had to be, didn't it? Forget Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest or Lagrange Point. Phantasy Star is the single greatest 8-bit RPG of all time, and unlike many of its contemporaries, actually holds up pretty well by today's standards. Truly a game that was ahead of its time.
Well, it is wonderful. I mean, you've got the dungeon crawling, and you've got the turn-based action, the world map and everything. A wonderful experience for its time. I think if there was a definitive version to play of this game, it would be the Sega Ages version on the Switch, because you now actually get a dungeon map, saves you trying to figure out where the hell you're going. I would highly recommend that, especially if you're a working dad and don't have that much time. But yeah, man, look, we'll recap at the end, but there's some big hitters that are not on this list. Wonder Boy, Monsterland, which is my all-time favorite. Space Harrier, you know, Double Dragon, just to name some off my head, Bomberade, Thunderblade. I'm not saying they all deserve to be in the top 20. I'm just saying that there's a lot of big hitters in here that did not make it. I'm very, very surprised.
Has simply gotten better with age. A monumental game, and my pick as being the best title on the Master System. So there we have it,
Okay.
folks. This has been my top 20 Master System games. Did you agree with my compilation, or were there other titles you think I should have included?
Well, you know what? I didn't agree with your list at all. However, I also respect your opinion, and what I respect more is that you have a wonderful passion for such a forgotten console, and thank you for being my Sega Master System brother. Okay, that was awkward. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you on the next video.